Hello, I'm Amelia. This is Yoga 1 for the Valley Athletic Club. Gather any props you have available. Blocks, blanket, maybe get creative, books, if you need a strap, maybe a belt, anything you have available. And take a few moments to arrive. Sit back on your blanket on the sits bone, so you post forward. Just take a moment to settle into the space, sensitize yourself to your environment. Consciously release any internal or external distractions. Start to connect in with the breath. In these more challenging times, we have a tendency to hold the breath in protection, and our breath is the gatekeeper for our parasympathetic nervous system, where our body can heal and deal, rest and digest, where our body functions at its optimum. So let's get breathy. This is the time where we can really delve a little deeper into the breath, connect into our center. And we'll begin with a 3-part breath. Palms face up in receptivity. And close down the eyes. Release the breath. Full deep inhalation into the low belly. Expand the side ribs and then upper chest. Release the upper chest, side ribs, and belly. Inhale, low belly. Expand side ribs, upper chest. With an HA, release upper chest. Side ribs and belly. Follow your natural breath cycle through 3 cycles. Start to tune in and listen to the resonance in your body. Our bodies have a knowing, this internal dialogue that will best inform us how to care for ourselves. A knowing that will tell us when to engage, go a little deeper in our practice, and when to pull back and rest. Child's pose is an excellent option. Join back in your practice when you're ready. Our bodies speak in the language of sensation, so really listen to your body's language. Blink open the eyes. On the inhale, arms rise up and overhead. Connect thumb and pinky in lotus mudra. Exhale, hands at heart center. Symbol of light emerging from the darkness. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. Lateral side stretch. Exhale, left hand connects to the mat. Right hand reaches up and overhead. Rotate the ribs and chest towards the ceiling. Soften the shoulder away from the ear. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead and change sides. Connect in with the breath. Allow your breath this presence in your practice. Take this into a flow, arms rise and change sides. Inhale, arms rise and change sides. Inhale, both arms rise up and overhead. Seated twist. Your right hand connects down on your left knee. Create a kickstand with your back hand. Lift the crown to the ceiling. And then rotate as you turn your gaze just beyond the back shoulder. Feel how at the bottom of the exhalation, you can rotate in just a little bit further. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. With the breath, cactus the arms. Squeeze the elbows behind you. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, change sides. Left hand connects down on the knee. Create the kickstand, lift the crown, and twist. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. With the breath, cactus the arms. And flow. Inhale, arms rise. And twist. Inhale, arms rise. Cactus. Inhale, arms rise. And twist. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. And hold, connect your hands together. Guide your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. One word, voice of inspiration that will guide you through your practice. I choose resilience. Release your hands. We'll come into deer flow. And bring your feet to the edges of your mat. And you may pull forward just slightly off your blanket. And we'll start to slowly, mindfully windshield wiper the knees side to side. And touch down on the mat. And change sides. Now guide the breath into the hip joints. And starting to sense that the breath nurtures and nourishes the body. Take inventory of the body and sense where there's potential to release and heal. Come into this state of well-being and create resilience in the body. On the inhale, sweep the knees down to the left. Pull forward slightly on the sits bones. Just subtly tuck the heels up towards the hips. On the inhale, the arms rise up and overhead and twist well beyond the back leg. The hands touch down on the mat. And then potentially the forearms and maybe even the forehead into deer. Each exhalation, you have the opportunity to twist your ribs just a little further down towards the earth. Let the breath flow through the spine. Starting to sense an opening along the nervous system. With the breath, rise up. Hands connect back behind you. Gentle sweeps side to side. Moving slowly, really feel the richness in the movement. With this slow movement, we have the opportunity to experience the sensation in the joints, experience the release. As the knees sweep off to the right, pull slightly forward on the sits bones and tuck the heels back towards the hips. Arms rise up and overhead and twist well beyond the back leg. Hands touch down on the mat, potentially the forearms and maybe even the forehead. With the breath, rise up and come through onto all fours for cat-cow. You can set your blanket aside, or you have an excellent opportunity to pad the back knees. Add this bit of comfort to the knee joint. And your hands connect directly under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Engage navel to spine. We'll start to reinforce core integrity by taking the navel up towards the back of the spine and then pull up with the navel. So what you'll feel, and release it, and now again, engage navel to spine, and then pull the navel up. We've just created traction through the spine, decompressing the spine, so we can move safely and protect the back. On the inhale, belly hammocks down, gaze lifts, tailbone lifts into cow. Let the jaw fall open, slack and supple. Exhale, cat. Curl your chin to chest, navel to spine, tailbone under. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now follow the rhythm of your breath. Start to sense and feel elasticity along the spine. Toning and conditioning the spine for the work to come. Take any movements that the body desires. Circle out the hips. Come back to neutral for elephant trunk. On the inhale, extend and lengthen your right leg behind you. Pull the heel directly in line with the crown. Engage the glute behind you. Reinforce core integrity, navel to spine. On the exhale, curl in and connect knee towards your nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, connect. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, connect. One more time, lengthen. And hold. Guide your foot directly in line with your hip for low gate. Connect your foot to the mat and shift your weight into your left hand and your right arm sweeps open. The top of the hand positions down towards the mat behind you. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe into the upper chest. Exhale, thread the arm through. Gentle spinal twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, thread. Inhale, rise and hold. Let the breath flow. Connect your hand back to the mat and step the foot well forward. Bring your knee directly over your ankle, and you may like to use your blocks for wandering dragon. And so first, engage through the back hip flexor and bring the weight more on the top of the back foot. Feel how this relieves any pressure on the back knee. And it takes the stretch so deeply into the back of the hip flexor. And you may walk your blocks, wander off to the left, and then settle them down onto their flatter setting. Maybe your hands stay up, or you engage and go a little deeper, lower down onto the forearms. The palms can face up. And be mindful that the knee remains stacked over the front ankle. And now re-engage through the back hip flexor and the top of the back foot. The forehead points directly down towards the mat, and feel that the crown of your head is in line with your low sacrum tailbone. Let the breath flow. And as you gain more length, you may find that you can push the blocks aside and come down onto the forearms, palms facing up. And push back up onto the hands. Bring your hands underneath the line of your shoulders. We'll come into twisted winged dragon. Walk the foot out to the edge of your mat and come into a 45-degree angle with the foot. You may take one block or not. Settle your forearm down onto the block and open towards the foot. Roll the foot open onto the knife edge of the foot. Take your hand and now roll the inner thigh open as you twist and look beyond your back twisted wing. Re-engage through the back hip flexor, top of the back foot. Feel this unraveling around your low sacrum and tailbone. And even though this is active in the upper body, mindful not to collect any tension through the neck or jaw. Slack and supple through the neck and jaw. Connect your foot back to the mat, hands. Heel toe your foot just underneath the knee, and we'll come into pigeon. So settle down onto the leg. And if pigeon isn't appropriate for your knee, figure 4 on your back is an excellent alternative. So in pigeon, first set it up so we can go into our deepest release. If there's any sensation on the knee, bring the heel closer in towards the hip. For more intensity, bring the front edge of the shin more parallel with the front edge of the mat. Position your hips square with the front edges of the mat. Lift the crown to the ceiling, and then flow into sleeping pigeon. Potentially the forehead touches down onto the mat, or it can be very comforting to rest the forehead on a block. With the breath, rise up. Swing the front leg around. You can either come into child's pose, connect the knees, set your seat back towards your heels, forehead to mat, or push back into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, your hands stack directly in line with your shoulders, heels in line with your hips. Walk the feet out. Take a generous bend through both your knees. Push your mat away from you in front of you like you're pulling your mat apart in the middle. Feel how this engages the low sacrum up towards the ceiling. And then straighten your legs as the heels sink down towards the mat. The ears settle gently between the shoulders. Connect your knees back down into tabletop. And we'll come into elephant trunk on the left. Line up the crown with the tailbone. Inhale. Extend and lengthen your left leg long behind you. Heel in line with the crown. Engage the glute. Let's get stronger. Exhale, curl in and connect knee towards your elbow. Knee towards your nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl and connect knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, connect. One more, lengthen. Guide the foot directly in line with the hip. Low gate. Stack your right hand directly under your shoulder. On the inhale, left arm sweeps open. Gentle spinal twist. Exhale, thread through. Inhale, rise. Exhale, thread. Inhale, rise and hold. Top hand just falls back towards the ground behind you. Shoulders settle away from the ears. The breath is smooth. Connect your hand back to the mat. And step the foot forward, wandering dragon. Bring your foot under the line of the knee. Locate the blocks. And first engage through the back hip flexor. Engage through the back, top of the foot. and then wander off to the right. Maybe the blocks settle down onto their flatter setting, palms face up. And take a peek back. You see that your knee remains stacked over your ankle. So feeling this deep stretch in the inner adductor muscle and the inner thigh. Rise up onto the hands and bring the hands back under the shoulders. Lower down onto the flatter setting of your blocker, directly onto the mat for twisted wing. Your right palm faces down. Heel toe your foot out to the edge of your foot at to the edge of your mat at a 45-degree angle, and rotate, lift your sole towards the ceiling. And take your hand to the inner thigh and rotate your inner thigh up. Take your gaze beyond the back twisted wing. You may or may not need the block here. You'll get much deeper in the stretch without it if that's an opportunity you can take. Connect your foot back to the mat. Rise up onto the hands. Heel toe your foot in just under the line of the knee. And we'll open into pigeon. And settle down into pigeon or figure four on your back. The body will tell you right away for less or more sensation. Maybe you bring your foot more parallel with the front edge of the mat. Square the hips back down towards the ground. Lift the crown and then flow into sleeping pigeon. Rise up, push onto your hands, and swing your front leg back. And remove any props out of the way. And push back into child's pose or downward facing dog. Feel any and all tension, stress, and worry cascade down your spine into this welcoming ground. Sense your presence in the center of now, where you are healthy and well. Gaze forward, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Crown falls directly in line with your low spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms circle overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to high plank and hold. You can either stay here in high plank or connect your knees to the mat. In high plank, your hands again are directly under your shoulders, heels in line with your hips. Re-engage navel to spine. Connect your knees to the mat. Bend your elbows as they just graze your ribs, lower down onto your belly. Engage the glutes behind you. Squeeze and tone the glutes. On the inhale, lift the chest, the hands float. Baby cobra. Feel the strength in the back. Exhale, release your chest to the mat. With the breath, inhale, rise, press into the hands, straighten the elbows, come onto the tops of the knees for cobra. Lift the crown to the ceiling, settle the shoulders away from the ears. Bend the elbows down to your belly. And third level, with the breath, inhale, rise up onto the tops of the feet, straighten the elbows, lift the crown, engage the glutes, engage the back. Exhale, release down, elbows just graze the ribs. Push back into child's pose or downward facing dog. Gaze forward, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms circle overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. And flow with the breath. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to high plank. You can either lower high plank to low, chaturanga, or connect the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale, baby cobra, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. If you're in child's pose, rise up to downward facing dog. Gaze forward, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms circle overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. I'd like to take an opportunity to guide you in a lymphatic drainage massage. This is stellar for stimulating the immune system, flushing out any toxins out of the body, any excess fluids. It will keep us functioning at our optimum level. So, take your 2-piece fingers and we'll start just beside the ears, along the jaw, gentle, round, circular movements. Really sense this opportunity to nurture the body. Come along the chin. And one more sweep back along the ears. Down the chin. And now along the neck, start just under the ears. And again, from the ears down to the clavicle. Start at the base of the throat. Massage up along the clavicle. And again, base of the throat along the clavicle. draw along the sternum. Start from the base of the throat. Go again. Under one arm. And the other. And we're just doing a brief version of this. You can extend this as long as feels appropriate for your body. I like to do it for about 5 minutes each day. Inside the legs, along the hip bones. Change sides. Now behind one knee. And change, other knee. Now to stimulate the flesh and the lymphatic system, we shake it out. Just let it shake. And it's a little bit of fun too, right? Oh, yes. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to high plank to low chaturanga, or connect knees. Lower down onto your belly. Inhale, baby cobra, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts skyward. Keep your hips square to the edges of the mat. Exhale, step your foot through and rise up, warrior one. Oh, and let's explore our alignment so we can flourish in our practice. In warrior one, heel to heel alignment, hips forward, chest forward. Engage navel to spine. Arms rise up and overhead for exalted warrior. It's always an option, Anjali Mudra, heart center, to ease up on the shoulders. And now that you're aligned, bend the front knee a little bit deeper. This will open the back hip flexor, have the opportunity to get a little bit stronger. Let the breath flow. Sweep your arms behind you, arching warrior into humble warrior flow. Interlace your hands, reposition your chest forward. Heart shines open, gaze lifts. The hands glide down the back leg to pull the chest open and shoulders open, even your jaw and the side of your neck. Exhale, flow into humble. Potentially, the inside of the shoulder touches the inside of the knee. With the breath, rise into reverse. Chest lifts. Exhale, flow forward into humble. And rise back into arching. Exhale, flow into humble. Release your hands on either side of the front foot. This is an excellent opportunity to utilize your blocks here for Parsvottanasana, pyramid. Take one small step in with the back foot. Reposition your chest back towards the front edges of the mat. Keep a gentle bend in the front knee, mindful not to lock out the joint. Pull the crown forward, create that long line of traction, and then soften your crown down towards the foot. Follow the breath into the stretch. Feel how on the inhalation, you gently, naturally soften out of the stretch, and the exhalation pulls you deeper into the stretch. Transition open, Trikonasana to the left. You can bring a block to the inside of the foot. And stack your hand and open towards the left. Or potentially you rise up. The hand just rests on the thigh. Or maybe the back of the hand on the inner thigh or low leg. And now engage in your rotation. Rotate your ribs and chest to the ceiling as you pull your hands apart. Create this long integrated line from one hand to the other. Let the breath flow, let it be smooth. And if you experience any intensity in the back of the leg through the sciatic nerve, bend the front knee just a little bit more. Rise into reverse. The front palm flips to the ceiling. And then the back hand glides down the back leg as the top hand seeks the corner where the ceiling meets the wall behind you. Soften the shoulder back away from the ear. Guide the breath into the side ribs. Release through. Step your back foot forward, half sane, or blocks aside. Take chaturanga. Inhale, arms rise up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. Change sides. Your left foot remains forward, right foot steps back, warrior one. Body senses the alignment. Just feel how you roll right into it. Heel to heel, hips forward, chest forward. Arms can come overhead. And now dig in just a little bit deeper. And bring your awareness to the inner thighs in warrior one. The inner thighs gently rotate inwards. So there's an internal rotation. The pelvis is stable, navel to spine. Now bring your awareness to your toes on your front foot. Spread your toes wide, settle them back down on the mat. Start to establish balance. Arms sweep back behind you, arching warrior, humble warrior flows. Interlace your hands, square your chest off. Inhale, gaze lifts, chest opens. Exhale, flow forward, humble. Inhale, rise, arching warrior. Exhale, flow into humble. Inhale, rise into arching. Exhale, flow into humble and hold. Release your hands to the mat. Maybe locate your blocks. Straighten the front leg. One small step in with the back foot. Reposition your chest. Pull your crown forward. Release into pyramid. Transition open into triangle. Open towards your right. Arm lifts. And take your level. Maybe the hand is on the upper thigh. The gaze can follow the top hand to the side wall or even down to the foot to ease up any tension on the neck. Pull the arms apart. And just like when we were in deer, how you could feel at the bottom of the exhale, you could rotate your ribs and chest just a little higher. Wind in just a little bit deeper. Rise into reverse. The front palm flips to the ceiling. The back hand glides down the back leg. And seek the corner with the top hand. Settle the shoulder back away from the ear and then re-engage. Release. Step the back foot forward. Half Sane or Vinyasa if that's in your practice. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms rise. And interlace your thumbs. Spread your fingers wide and spread your toes wide. Exhale, forward fold. One long line through the spine, moving slowly, mindfully. The fingertips just graze the mat. Maybe set your blocks aside and start to curl the spine. Roll the spine one vertebrae at a time up to stand. The arms come last into baby back bend. Exhale back into forward fold. Let the breath flow. Fingertips just touch the mat. Release the thumbs. Sweep your hands behind you. Interlace your hands into shoulder mitts. This is an excellent opportunity to use your strap. Soften the crown down towards the ground as you pull your shoulders away from your ears and your hands fall back behind you towards the mat. Shake your head no. And yes. Release the hands and sit back, Utkatasana, chair. And now for this purpose, stack your feet directly underneath your hips. Slight tuck in the pelvis. Take a posterior tuck in the pelvis. So tailbone lifts towards your face. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Let's get a little bit stronger. Bend the knees a little bit deeper. And we'll take this into a sweeping flow. So with the breath, lift the right heel, sweep the right arm, release the breath. Set the heel back to the mat, change sides. Left heel, left arm. Change, right. Left. One more time, right. Left. And hold. Challenge the balance and potentially rise up onto both tiptoes. Set your heels back to the mat. Hands come to heart center. Bend your knees in a little deeper. With the inhale, right knee lifts, arms follow. Relocate your balance. Spread the toes. Re-engage navel to spine, and now find your still point. And transition open, warrior 3 prep. The arms sweep back behind you. Come onto the ball of the back foot and touch down on your mat. Reposition your hips forward, chest forward. And now you may choose to stay here, warrior 3 prep, or start to play with balance. Lift the toes, shift the weight into the front foot, engage the glute behind you. Brave warrior, so strong. And come to your level. Potentially, you hinge forward. Lift your heel directly in line with your crown. And position your toes back towards the mat. Re-engage. Lower the toes to the mat, high crescent lunge. Oh, hands come together at heart center. Let the breath flow. That is so strong. And now in high crescent lunge, tone the leg behind you, straighten and lengthen the back leg. Lift the kneecap, slight tuck in the pelvis. Shoulders stacked directly over the hips. Then the arms rise up and overhead. Let the breath flow. And we'll take this into a flow to challenge the strength and balance. Shift your weight forward onto the front foot and lift the back knee as you clench your fists and bring them to your sides. Back into high crescent, arms overhead. Come onto the ball of the back foot. And again, rise up, knee lifts, fist to your sides. One more time, foot touches down, arms overhead. Rise up. Foot touches back down, high crescent lunge. Reposition, hips, chest. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Arms come forward, high crescent lunge twist. So in high crescent lunge twist, your left hand sweeps down and back. And feel and sense how your low body is stabilized as we mobilize our upper body. So now rotate into it. Ribs and chest turn towards the side wall. Your arms pull apart. And then maybe engage. Let's get stronger. Bend a little deeper in the front leg. Come into lunge twist. The front hand touches down on the inside of the foot or onto a block. And then re-engage. Lift the chest and ribs back towards the ceiling. Potentially the gaze follows the top hand. Turn your gaze down towards the mat. Connect your hand to the mat. Step your front foot back. Downward facing dog. Or rest back in child's pose. From child's pose, push back, downward facing dog. Gaze forward, walk to the top of your mat. Interlace your thumbs and slowly curl your spine up to stand. Baby back bend. Forward fold. Fingers just graze the mat. Sweep the hands behind you. Interlace your hands into shoulder rents. Again, pull the shoulders away from the ears as the hands sink back behind you towards the mat. Shake the head no. And yes. Release the hands, sit back, Utkatasana chair. Feet stack under the hips, slight tuck in the pelvis. Sit into your chair a little bit deeper. The chair sweeps. Start with the left, full deep inhalation. Exhale, lift your left heel, sweep your left arm with your breath. Heel back to the mat, change to the right. Left, right, left, right, and hold. Hands come together at heart center. Bend your knees. Inhale, rise up, arms lift, left knee follows. Warrior 3 prep. Arms sweep back behind you. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Reposition chest and hips. And now maybe you engage. Start to lift the heel up towards the ceiling as you hinge forward at the waist. Come to your level. You can even use the support of a block in front of you. Position your toes back towards the mat. Hold the crown forward, heel back. Slowly, with strength and control, lower down onto the ball of the back foot, high crescent lunge. Take a moment to steady the breath, steady the mind. Hips forward, chest forward, slight tuck. Strengthen, tone the back leg behind you, kneecap lifts. Spread the toes wide on the mat, arms rise up and overhead. High crescent lunge. High crescent lunge flows. Hinge forward, bring the weight onto the front foot, and engage navel to spine. Reinforce core integrity. Rise up, fist to sides, knee follows. Come back into high crescent, arms overhead. Rise up, fist to sides, knees follow. High crescent. One more time, fist to side, knee follows. And hold. Come back into high crescent. Reestablish balance. Soften the shoulders. Arms come forward. High crescent twist. Your right hand sweeps down and back. Body feels the stability in low body, and now mobilize the upper body. Rotate your chest to the side wall. Pull the arms apart. And let's get stronger. Bend a little bit deeper in the front knee. Connect your hand to the mat or block, lunge, twist. You can keep the back knee lifted at this point or choose to set it down on the mat. Re-engage ribs and chest to the ceiling. Gaze potentially follows the top hand. Connect your hand back on the mat. Step your front foot back, downward facing dog or child's pose. And in child's pose, the wider you take your knees on the mat, the deeper the stretch moves into the hips and low back. And to offer yourself a lovely internal organ massage, it's nice to stack the thighs right under the belly and breathe deeply into the belly. Come forward onto your belly for shoulder stretch. Set any props aside. And in shoulder stretch, bring your right hand right next to your right chest. Right knee bends. Left arm falls directly in line with your left shoulder. Your left leg is long. So right hand next to chest, right knee's bent. Left arm in line with shoulder, left leg is long. Push and roll up over your left shoulder. As your toes touch down potentially on the ground behind you, the side of your head rests easily on the mat. And for less sensation, walk the fingertips down towards the hip. For more sensation, you can roll back to your belly, cactus the arm, and roll back up and over the shoulder. Bring your awareness to your neck, release the neck, release the jaw. And next level, you have the opportunity to lift your right hand to the ceiling, bend at the elbow, and come in half bind at low back. Tuck your forearm down behind your low back. Guide the breath around the shoulder joints into the pec. Release your bind at low back. Roll back onto your belly and push back into child's pose. Come forward, back onto your belly, and we'll change sides. Your left hand sets down next to your left chest, left knee bends. Right arm falls directly in line with your shoulder, your right leg is long. Push up and over your right shoulder. Potentially fingertips walk down towards the hip, or up level, roll back to your belly, cactus the arm, roll back up and over your left shoulder, your right shoulder. And next level, left fingertips reach towards the ceiling, bend the elbow, come into half bind at low back, and then engage. Tuck the shoulder back behind you, open deeper through the front of the chest. Release the bind, roll back to your belly, and push back into child's pose. And come forward onto all fours. Pull through onto your seat, and we'll come onto our backs for ab sequence. Bring your feet well in front of the knees. First, post forward onto the sits bones. Long line of traction through the spine. Decompress the spine, arms come forward. And then we move. Start to stack one vertebrae at a time. Roll onto your back. Bring your heels just in front of your sits bones. Knees directly in line with your hips. And engage navel to spine. Tilt and tuck your pelvis, your low tailbone towards the ceiling. Release it back down onto the mat. And now this time, tilt and tuck your pelvis, tailbone up towards the ceiling. Counting to 7 in your head. Press through the feet. Start to lift the hips towards the ceiling at the same time and speed. The hands rise up and overhead. The tops of your hands touch down on the mat behind you. And then re-engage. Lift the hips a little higher towards the ceiling. And pulse. Squeeze the glutes behind you. Tone the glutes. Tone the core. Hold. Again, counting to 7 in your head. Start to lower the glutes to the mat. At the same time and speed, the hands rise up and overhead. Fingertips point directly towards the ceiling. As the glutes touch down, pike the legs up into the air and lift the head and shoulders up off the mat. And come into a pulse. Reach the fingertips to the tops of the feet as you re-engage. Tilt and lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Exhale on the lift. Hold. Counting to 7 one more time. Come into a V. Feet go forward, arms go back. Fire up the core. Find the space of vibration in the core. Welcome the strength. Welcome the intensity. We're creating core integrity. Hold here. Engage. And release. Hug your knees into your chest. Gentle rock side to side. Extend your legs and arms long. Hug your knees back into your chest. And keep your right knee, extend your left leg long. You can come onto the heel of the left foot or bend the knee and keep the foot connected to the mat. Come into wind removing pose and let's follow the breath into the stretch. On the exhale, find softness in the body. Full deep inhalation. Exhale, hug the knee up towards the shoulder as you point and extend the left foot to the front of the room. Inhale, you soften out. Exhale, and dig a little deeper. Hug the knee up towards the shoulder, point and extend the left foot to the front of the room. Now follow your breath in and out of the stretch. Guide the knee across the midline of the body into supine twist. You can set your knee down onto a block or the blanket. Your right arm falls directly in line with your shoulder. Turn your gaze over your right hand, and I invite you to close your eyes. Revisit your intention. Feel the vibration of your intention circulating through your body. Roll back onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Keep your left knee, extend your right leg long into wind removing pose. Now follow the breath into the stretch. On the inhalation, soften out. On the exhalation, guide your knee up towards your shoulder as you point and extend your right foot to the front of the room. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Follow your breath. And guide the knee across the midline of your body into supine twist. And turn your gaze over your left hand and close your eyes. And see a clear crystalline light spiraling along your spine through your nervous system, strengthening your life force, creating resilience in your body, in your mind. onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And come into happy baby. Hands on the inner or outer edges of your feet. And allow happy baby to be a little active. Create an even resistance between your hands and feet. This will bring the knees closer to the mat. Release the sacrum, tailbone down onto the mat. Soften the back of the head. Release any tension around the belly. Feel and sense vibrancy circulating through your body, vitality, a sense of well-being. Gentle rock side to side, massage the back. And come into Shavasana. Palms face up to receive or down for grounding. Sense serenity in your body and your mind. Feel held by the earth, nurtured. And let go. Bring your awareness back into the room. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Take a full, deep, collective inhalation, the word let. Exhale, go. And choose to stay here in Shavasana or rise onto your right side. up onto your seat. Two hands together in love and light. It is my hope that each and every one of you feel a sense of serenity in your body, in your mind. Remember to return to the breath at any point. Anytime you feel like you need to heal, rest, release, become present. And I know this is true. We need self-care the most when we feel like it the least. So, every day, something to nurture yourself, your self-care, offer your body gratitude. It is every cell in our bodies are working harmoniously to sustain life, so offer the body gratitude. Thank you for joining me today, and namaste.